You're there, standing on the edge of a decision. A chasm between the life you know, the safe job, the stable relationship, the predictable path, and the life you could have. And right in the middle, there's this feeling of vertigo. A knot in your stomach that tells you, don't jump. You call it anxiety. What if I told you you're using the wrong word? What if that fear isn't a signal to retreat, but the very confirmation that you're on the right path? That paralyzing anxiety you feel before a major change isn't a glitch in your system. It's one of the most profound experiences of the human condition. Thinkers like the philosopher Søren Kierkegaard and the psychologist Carl Jung didn't see this feeling as an illness, but as a call, the call of your own freedom. What if I told you that the intensity of your anguish is directly proportional to the size of your unrealized potential? By the end of this video, you won't just understand why this happens, but you'll have a roadmap to turn that vertigo into your next step. To start, we need to rename and reframe this feeling. What you're feeling isn't a disorder, not a chemical error that needs to be silenced at all costs. It's an existential phenomenon. The Danish philosopher Søren Kierkegaard, a master at exploring the depths of the human soul, had a specific word for it: anguish. In German, Angst. And it's crucial to understand the difference. Common fear has an object. You're afraid of a spider, of public speaking, of a dog barking. Fear is focused on something concrete. Angst, on the other hand, is the fear of nothingness, of the infinite possibilities opening up before you. It's the subtle dread that emerges when you realize your life's script isn't written, and the pen is irrevocably in your hand. Kierkegaard used a perfect analogy, one that might describe exactly where you are right now. Imagine a man standing on the edge of a very high cliff. He feels two fears. The first is the obvious fear of falling, of an accident, of something external pushing. But there's a second fear, far more subtle and terrifying. It's the fear of looking down and feeling the vertigo, the disturbing awareness that he himself has the freedom to jump. That second feeling, that dizziness of freedom, is angst. It's not the world threatening, it's you realizing the terrifying power of your own choice. And that's your situation. It's your cliff's edge might be the decision to quit a soul-sucking job, to end a relationship that diminishes you, to move to a city where you know no one, to finally start that project you've been putting off for years. Your anxiety isn't about what might go wrong. It's the vertigo you feel when you realize you are radically free to choose who you will be from now on. The responsibility for writing the next chapter is entirely yours, and that's terrifying. But what you may not have realized is that this feeling isn't a sign that you're broken. It's a sign that you're awake. But if this angst is the proof of our freedom, why is it so hard to embrace it? Why do paralysis and inaction still seem like the safer options? The truth is, avoiding the vertigo of the cliff has a cost. A very high cost, paid in daily installments of dissatisfaction. And this is where Carl Jung's psychology lights the way. Jung would say that throughout your life, you have carefully constructed a persona. The persona is the social mask we all wear. It's your job title, your degree, your role as a child, a partner, a competent professional. It's the version of you that is accepted, applauded, and functions well in the world. There's nothing wrong with the persona. It's an essential tool. The problem begins when the mask fuses to the face. When you forget, there's something underneath it. And what lies underneath is your true self, your authentic core, your unrealized potential, the person you were born to be. The angst that Kierkegaard describes is the self knocking on the door of your consciousness, saying, this life you've built, this mask, it's getting too small. The chronic dissatisfaction you feel, the Sunday scaries, the feeling of just following a script, the self-sabotage that stops you from moving forward. These aren't random problems. They are the symptoms of a neglected self. They are the screams of a part of you that is being suffocated. And here is the hard truth. The pain of ignoring this call is far greater than the pain of answering it. The fear of the leap is acute, intense, but it passes. The pain of standing still is chronic. It's a slow death by 1,000 little cuts. 1,000 little betrayals of yourself every single day. It's the pain of looking in the mirror and seeing a stranger. It's the pain of reaching the end of your life and wondering, what if? The philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre would call this denial of our freedom bad faith. It's when we lie to ourselves saying, I have no choice, it's too complicated, I can't do this now. We pretend to be victims of circumstance so we don't have to face the terrifying weight of our own freedom. Staying in the safety of your current life isn't safety, it's a prison with invisible walls, but whose bars are made of the fear of others' opinions, the attachment to comfort, and the refusal to accept your own strength. The real danger isn't in the abyss ahead of you, it's in the comfortable cell you've built behind you. The real pain is not that of the jump, but the pain of living a life that doesn't belong to you, knowing deep down that the choice was always yours. So, here we are, standing between the angst of freedom and the pain of inaction. If changing is terrifying and standing still is a slow suffocation, what's the way out? The answer, once again, comes from Kierkegaard. It's what he called the leap of faith, and it's crucial that you don't confuse this with a blind or irrational jump. The leap of faith isn't about closing your eyes and hoping for the best. It is an act of supreme consciousness. It is the decision to act in spite of the absence of guarantees. It's an act of trust not in a specific outcome but in the process of life and, more importantly, in your ability to handle whatever comes next. The angst doesn't disappear before the leap. It's the fuel for it. It's the stored energy that propels you off the cliff's edge. But how do you make this leap less daunting? This is where the ancient wisdom of Stoicism becomes the most practical tool there is. Think of Seneca, of Epictetus. They taught us the fundamental principle of the dichotomy of control, the art of separating what is up to us from what is not. You don't control the outcome of the leap. You don't control if the new career will work out, if the new relationship will be happy, if people will approve of your decision. Trying to control this is the source of all paralysis. What do you control? Your intention, your decision to leap, and, crucially, your first step. Angst shows you the door. Stoicism gives you the clarity to focus only on turning the doorknob, without worrying about what's on the other side. Focus on what you can control, your action, here and now. This brings us to the most important part. How, in practice, do we move through this angst and take the first step? First, relabel the feeling. The next time you feel this anxiety, this knot in your stomach, this urge to retreat, stop, breathe, and tell yourself, out loud if you need to, this isn't fear. It's the vertigo of my freedom. It's a sign that I'm in the right place. Changing the vocabulary you use to describe your internal experience is the first step to changing the experience itself. Second, calculate the smallest possible leap. The leap of faith is rarely a dramatic resignation tomorrow. It starts with one step, a 1% step. What is the smallest, most ridiculously tiny action you can take today in the direction of the life that's calling you? Is it researching that course for 15 minutes? Writing the first paragraph of that book? Having that difficult conversation but just for 5 minutes? Stop looking at the other side of the chasm. Look at your next step. The sum of small, courageous leaps is what builds the bridge to your new reality. And third, use uncertainty as a compass. We've been taught to fear uncertainty, to seek guarantees. But the truth is, genuine growth only exists in the territory of the unknown. Certainty is the land of stagnation. So, instead of seeing uncertainty as a reason to stop, start seeing it as evidence that you're leaving the known map and entering the journey of your own life. Uncertainty is the price we pay for freedom. Remember the promise from the beginning? That the intensity of your angst is proportional to your potential? Now you understand. Angst doesn't measure the size of the danger. It measures the vastness of your freedom. Your anxiety isn't a bug in the system. It's the signal that your authentic life is calling you to the next chapter. The only question is, will you answer? If this reflection brought you clarity, hit the like button so this message can reach more people who need to hear it. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so we can continue this journey of self-discovery together. And now, leave a comment below. When was the last time you felt this vertigo of freedom when facing a big decision? How did you handle it?